This trader is getting really close to $10 million with his new daily record gain of $1.7 million. Trader who was fully convinced he'll have $80,000 is now down by $122,000. And this trader lost a year worth of gains in just a couple of weeks. And we are starting off with an insane loss by Math Guy 100, who you might remember from the last video in which he didn't know what's worse, the loss or the fact he's fully convinced he'll have $80,000 by expiration. And well, it looks like he did not make that 80k. Otherwise he's sick of these lame ass loss. This is what real loss looks like. But don't worry, he was up by 45% today. On the all-time chart, he's down by 95% or $122,815.54 and is left with $6,347.26. And looking at his stock chart, we can see that his trading journey was a complete disaster. With whatever money he has left, he went almost all in into 76 buy call options with a striking price at $450 and expiration date on July the 21st. And yeah, on this trade he was sold by 46% on Thursday and thinks he'll make 120k, which would put him just slightly below break even. Just like with his previous trade, he has full confidence he's going to win, so much that he now even thinks he'll make 225k. In contrast, we could say trader by the name of Austerian18 doesn't need confidence because we've seen him make gains time and time again. He's made several daily more than $1 million gains, and the last time he posted, he got his account to $7,227,000 with his goal being $10 million. And I'm glad to see he didn't lose it all. In fact, he even set his new daily record with a $1,791,488 gain, bringing his account to almost $8.5 million. Most of his gains came from NDX bull and bear call spreads. Besides them, he also made nice gains on Apple, Netflix and Microsoft's bull and bear call spreads. He still makes losses, but we can't see them because it's sorted by most profit. And some people accuse him of using a paper account, but he's been verified by the mods, so it looks like his gains are not fake. And I just truly hope he gets to that $10 million. Next, we have an insane loss by Z Bodhisattva, who was trading SPY puts and was firstly up by 2,149% or $121,629.60, which means he turned just 5.6k into 127k. And despite making very consistent gains throughout the whole year, it took just one huge loss to wipe all of his gains. And now his account is worth just around 2k. It's truly painful to see a year worth of trading disappear in what appears to be a couple of weeks. He was just doing mean reversion plays when things are overbought or sold all year and was killing it, but taking enough risk to blow an account. This week was unlike any other all year, and that's what did it. He debated about stopping at 125k, but what can that get in life nowadays? He would probably stop at 300k or so, keep 200k after taxes and buy a house. Well, trader by the name of Not Selling GameStop thinks his life is over. On the all-time chart, he's down by 70% or $20,261.70, and this left it around 8k. And looking at his chart, he didn't even make one free win. Once again, we have one of the stupidest traders on WallStreetBets, as all of this was borrowed money with a very high interest rate. He's dead in the water and doesn't see a way out. He even said he eats water for lunch and sleeps for dinner because of this community. And apparently WallStreetBets is responsible for him buying a ton of options when he was really drunk. He lost around 10k on that drunken splurge alone. Otherwise, he also bought GameStop when it was super high, and I sadly don't know if this happened in the same drunken splurge. He went all in on GameStop, then doubled down on short-term in the money GameStop calls, which expired worthless. And if this wasn't bad enough, he took out a personal loan for $15,000 with a pretty high interest rate. He lost it all and then put in his entire life savings to try and get back to even. Luckily, at least trader by the name of Bull on Cocaine made a $17,000 gain on Boeing, because he bought calls with a striking price at $210 and expiration date on June the 30th, July the 7th and 21st. On one of those positions, he's even now by 140%, and he bought the calls with an expiration date on on June the 30th on Friday. They dipped all the way down to negative 40% or so, and then he added more calls with later expiration. He almost sold yesterday but said what the hell and let them run. Luckily he already sold and secured his gains. Sadly, another trader's life is falling apart. Legitimately, Sun 72 is down by more than 100% or $19,171.70, and it looks like he got in profit just once before slowly losing his money and at the end just completely blowing up his account. There are two extremely strange things about this loss. Firstly, he lost more than 100%, and secondly, none of these losses were options. Instead, he was using his handy dandy day trading strategy. Trader by the name of Pussy Breath 007 is also gambling his money, but in contrast to the last trader, he made a roughly $30,000 gain on Coinbase today. He pushed it out yesterday and realized a small profit and doubled the position today at open. And he made so much money because he bought a lot of Coinbase call options with a striking price at $61 and $50 and expiration date on July the 21st. And just a day later he sold the remaining calls to secure around $40,000 of profits. Now why did he even buy Coinbase when it's down by 79% since its IPO? He doesn't think Bitcoin is going anywhere. It's clear the big boys are now trying to control the market, with BlackRock entering in a big way. He's surprised it didn't pump more yesterday, which is why he had the conviction to re-enter with calls 4 weeks out. Well, that, and he has a gambling problem. He's not sure how much it pumps, but he thinks Coinbase will get to $80 to $90 by the end of July. For his next move, he's thinking about Rivian. He hated their valuation for the longest time, but the management of the company is executing and they make the best EV pickup in the world by far. Demand will only continue to increase and their margins should get better as they continue to scale. So he thinks Rivian is due for a mini pump, which is why shortly after he went into a $50,000 Rivian YOLO by buying 165 Rivian call options with a striking price at $12.50 and expiration date on September the 15th. And he's already up by 21% or around 10k. So he decided to gamble all of his Coinbase gains and more. And honestly, if he doesn't see swings of $25,000 to $50,000 in his account daily, he doesn't want to get out of bed anymore. So yeah, a classic gambling addiction. Despite that, he gave advice on how to get into options trading. He lost a lot of money at first, then made it all back and then some. It's daunting at first, but read a lot. He doesn't come from a financial background, but being profitable is possible with options. Everyone jokes as if it's unfathomable. Don't bother paper trading, it's useless. You need to feel the emotion of losing money. Don't use margin, you are already so leveraged with options that you really don't need it. Even he doesn't go to the degenerate depths of margin abuse. Two most important things are keeping emotions in check and understanding market sentiment and volatility. And last but not least, we have a huge loss by Alexum99, who lost around 50% of his money on CCL earnings and had this to say about it. Stock market operates on 100% logic and numbers. Company beats earnings, deposits and operates at near 100% occupancy and trades at a relatively reasonable EPS. All things he predicted and why he made this bet. But it's more logical to buy a negative 220 EPS stock called AI Junkie with no earnings to show for it. 80% of his position is in leaps, expiring in 2024 and 2025. So long term he will break even, maybe. Besides this trade, he made 100k on BBBY, then lost it overnight. He made 40k on Doge and then lost half when he held. So far he's down 37k from start of his investing journey. It's an addiction and he can't stop. But soon after this loss he posted again on the same trade, claiming stock market manipulation even though he has no proof. But he says we all know it happens. Stock posts record earnings and outlook beating all expectations, but the big guys dumped it in 35 minutes. They cashed in on the IV crash and just bought back in during the panic. And if you want to see how this trader turned $600 into $19,000 overnight, click on the video that just popped up. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe, and if you have any questions or recommendations, leave them in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.